What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 walkthrough. So if you remember last time, we got a key that's going to unlock a cell for an NPC. So for that, we're going to have to travel back to the High Wall of Lothric. Going to go to the Tower on the Wall bonfire. Now I'm going to be running past most of the enemies on the way. If you want to fight them all, be my guest. You'll get some extra souls as a result for your effort. And just to recap, in the last episode, we upgraded the Deep Battle Axe to +2 and equipped it. Also, we have the Silver Eagle Height Shield, which has 100% physical damage negation if we use it to block. One thing I want to point out about this is we talked about weapon skills before. This skill for this shield is not parry. It is weapon skill. And what that means is that even if you have your shield out, if you press L2 to activate your skill, you're not going to be using parry. What this does is it defaults to whatever weapon skill for the weapon you're holding in your right hand is. So in this case, even if we have our shield out, we're going to be using the weapon skill for our battle axe instead of the shield. So again, you cannot parry with the shield. So if you're relying on parries, maybe this is not the best shield for you. You maybe could switch back to the other one that you've been using before. You can also two-hand your axe. Sometimes I do that as well. I'm going to do a quick little damage comparison. The Lothric Knight passes by. And you'll see we're doing 127 one-handed and 134 two-handed. So a little bit of extra damage if you're two-handing. So for the NPC that we want, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. There are some enemies. I'm going to run past most of them. And then I'm going to turn around and see who's still following me at the end. And then I'll take on anyone who followed me all the way down here. We'll see how many brave enemies we have. Is it just the one? All right, that's fine. If you want the extra souls, feel free to take all those guys out. But we have the key. We're going to use it. And this is a Greirat.
Ah. You know jailer? No, you're from far away. You must be some of that unkindled ash. Remarkable. If that's true, below the high wall is a musty little town, not the home of any lord. An old woman, Loretta, lives there. Please, give her this ring. I'm not asking for charity. I'll be sure to repay you in kind. I may be a petty thief, but what do you say then? Very well.
All right, so he has a job for us to do.
I humbly place my faith in. I am Greirat of the undead settlement. Give this ring to old Loretta at the base. Do your part and...
All right, so he gives us the blue tearstone ring and a mission. He wants us to give this ring to Loretta, so let us keep that in the back of our mind. We got the blue tearstone ring. That's actually a ring that we can equip. I'm going to throw it on. Increases our damage absorption when HP is low. I think it's below 30%. We get some extra damage reduction. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and use a homeward bone to get back to the last bonfire that we've warped at. Actually, we need to warp to the other bonfire nearby the shortcut elevator that we unlocked at the end of the previous episode, because that is where we're headed next. We're going to use this to warp. And we're going to go to the High Wall of Lothric. We're going to be taking the right-hand side path, so since we're taking that path, remember to hit this sniper guy so it doesn't bother us. You see our damage is much higher than what it was before. I'm going to drop here, and then we can get the plunging attack on this guy if he cooperates with us. No, he's not going to cooperate with us. He's going to go up the stairs, which is perfect for us. So we can run here without any worries. Take the elevator down. And standard practice for me is when I take an elevator somewhere and when there's a chance, there's a likelihood that I might die, I'm going to send the elevator back up. So that way, if I have to respawn and retry, the elevator is right there waiting for me. There's going to be a bunch of enemies here. I'm just going to run past them and again, kind of deal with them. Any of the ones who have followed me all the way, I'll deal with them accordingly. We're one-shotting these guys now. Feels good. Ah, jeez. Of course I get caught in a combo. Alright, so now we got a bunch of Lothric Knights over here. And again, if you want to farm that sword that this guy's carrying, very good weapon, viable for the whole game. Literally the entire game you can use the Lothric sword. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my shield. I got 100% damage reduction now for physical damage. And that's going to allow me to block a lot and hopefully fish for some backstabs. That's my favorite way to get these guys, is to fish for backstabs. And now I don't have to worry about taking damage because I can block all the physical damage. And these guys do purely physical damage. This one's got a spear. Alternatively, you can parry them. I have a much better shot at parrying ones that wield swords than spears. For whatever reason, I have a really hard time parrying spears in this game. I don't know why it is. I'm much better at parrying swords than I am at parrying spears. I think it's because these spears can stab so quickly, it's hard to react. Whereas the sword, it's more, the attack is a bit more telegraphed. Waiting for my opening here. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit patient if you're gonna fish for backstabs. You gotta try to roll behind him. You see, he broke my guard there. I ran out of stamina when I was blocking. That shield bash really kills your stamina. Alright. Well, I'm tired of waiting, so I'm just gonna take him out. You can do that too. You notice we have a summon sign here. We can summon this phantom. He will help us. But I am generally going to do the vast majority of this game, if not all of it, without summoning for help unless it's required for a quest of sorts. Alright, got one more up here with the sword. Oh, thought I was going to get a backstab, but I did not. You see, we're doing tons of damage with this axe. Up here we got the Lucerne. And this over here is going to be a bit of a challenge. If you want to take on the challenge, you can fight this guy now. If not, there really is no super compelling reason to fight this guy other than just the fact that it's a challenge. So what I like to do is I like to activate my weapon skill from far away. Because if you notice, our weapon skill on this weapon is Warcry. Let out a spirited Warcry that temporarily boosts your attack. It boosts your attack and it also changes your charge attack to have a different animation and it hits a bit harder as well. Thing is, if you do it too close, it'll alert him. You see his back is facing us. So if you do this too close to him, it'll actually alert him. So we want to sneak up on him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak up behind him, lock on. And then when we're relatively close to a charged R2, it is really hard to execute a backstab. I don't know if I've ever really successfully done it. So I'm just going to do this charge R2, knock him down, get a couple hits, and then back away and fight him more traditionally. You see he's got red eyes. He hits a bit harder. He can buff his weapon. He is really, really tough. He's got some pretty hefty combos there, but you see our axe staggers him a bit. So you can just wait for that opening. And here we got a refined gem. All right, so that's that. And in here we have an important NPC that we're going to talk to. This is Emma.
Ah, the wait has been long, unkindled one. I am Emma, High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone, to their churning homes converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner to proceed.
All right, so she gives us the small Lothric banner. This is required for progression.
This farewell gift, it is the insignia of an old covenant.
But keep talking to her.
If you fear trespassers, dark spirits drawn by the embers, then etch this upon your heart, and the old Concord will beckon noble blue sentinels to hunt.
All right, and this is for the Way of Blue Covenant. Each covenant in this game gives you a trophy if you obtain the covenant item. So let's check out this covenant item for the Way of Blue. Let's see, we got to, that's right, we got to whip it here. So we have this. Pledge oneself to the Way of Blue Covenant. Pale blue sheepskin parchment featuring an illustration of the moon, symbol of an ancient accord. Members of the Way of Blue are the beneficiaries of an ancient accord. When a dark spirit threatens them, a blue spirit will grant them assistance and help them to root out the invader. So if you're part of this covenant and you get invaded, this is all multiplayer related, by the way, and you get invaded, then you can, this covenant, you can get a blue sentinel to join your world and help you against the invasion. And so you can join this covenant, equip the item, etc. We're not really going to be messing with that much, as we're not really going to be doing multiplayer for the vast majority of this playthrough. As I mentioned before, I'm playing offline anyways. You can actually kill Emma and as a result, fight a late game boss now and then gain progression into a late game area. I would highly advise against doing that. I'm just going to point out that you can do it. I'm not going to do it. And of course, she gave us a small Lothric banner, which is an item that we're going to need to progress. Now we're going to go down these stairs. A couple enemies down here we're going to take out. There's a archer to the side here. Want to get him. It doesn't surprise us later. Can do a kick. Break his shield. Or break his guard, rather. Give us an opportunity for a riposte. Alternatively, if you attack them a couple times when their shield is up, you can break their guard that way too. And through this gate, we're going to be facing our next boss, Vordt of the Boreal Valley. Up to these doors. We'll initiate the fight. All right, so he's kind of like a giant bull sort of thing. And he's got a big hammer that does freeze damage. What I recommend doing is getting behind him. Most of his attacks, like many other large enemies, are going to be towards their front. So if you're behind them, you're going to dodge most of their attacks. He does have 2 phases. And as I mentioned, his weapon does do frostbite damage. If that frostbite triggers, it's going to do a percentage of your HP, and then it's going to lower your defense for a period of time. Again, staying behind him. And now he's entered his second phase, so he has this attack where he can charge at you. There's quite a bit of damage, so just dodge to the side. And then he's got this breath, which leaves him wide open. I'm probably going to kill him here. Just wailing on him while he's shooting the breath out in front. And that leaves him wide open. So not that hard of a boss, but good to get warmed up. We get a trophy for our trouble, and we get his soul as well. Which is our first boss soul, I do believe. We got our bonfire. We can go on and rest. I'm not going to go back to Firelink just yet. We'll go at the end of this episode. You read this message, peer over the cliff and hold up the banner. And look at this. This is another just great view. This game is full of just amazing views. And you look at this expanse, most of these places you can see are places that we're actually going to be going in the game. And that's what I love about this level design, is that there's really nothing that goes to waste. It's quite nice. So here we can raise the banner. This is the banner that we got from Emma when we talked to her. And this is going to take us to our next spot, which we're not going to spend much time there. We're really going to dive into it in the next episode, but we're going to just scratch the surface because there is something very important at the very beginning that we're going to be doing. And it'll kick off one of the crucial NPC side quests in this game. So right where we start, we got a bonfire right here. We're going to go ahead and light that. And then we're going to turn over here for a soul item. We're going to go all the way down here and witness a horrifying scene. Go over here. The gate's going to open. And these poor dudes are just going to get mauled alive. It's an awful way to go. So now the dogs are our problem. We're going to go on down. Use our shield to block. They'll bounce off. Hopefully we'll get him 2 hits. It's going to take. See, this one I'm going to lure with my bow. He stays still. There we go. All right, block. Let him attack. He'll bounce off. We can follow up. Here we go. Then there's another one down here. Block. Let him bounce off. There we go. At first it knocks him back, but then we can follow up pretty easily with another hit. Up. Took a little bit of damage there. All right. Very nice, very nice. So we're going to go away from the gate for now. And here we have a couple dogs behind this cart. And there, right next to an item, we got some alluring skulls. You can throw this, and what it'll do is it'll attract certain enemies to it and kind of be a distraction to them. It can be used very strategically in certain spots. On here to the left, we got some Homer Bones. And do not attack these. They're not enemies. In fact, one of them is our NPC that we're looking for, and this NPC is critical if you want one of the endings. You have to do this NPC's entire quest line to unlock an ending in the game.
Grant me death. Undo my shackle.
And so do not grant his wish. You're just going to talk to him.
Oh, then it's true. A champion of Ash as I live and breathe. To be in your presence is a great honor. I am Yoel of Londor, a pilgrim, as you can see, only somehow I failed to die as was ordained. Well, perhaps my calling lies elsewhere. Say, champion of Ash, how does the idea of taking me into your service strike you? I was once a sorcerer.
All right, accept his service.
I am honored. I should be dead. Yet you have granted me purpose anew. I, Yoel of Londor.
All right, so he goes back to Firelink. And as I said, he is a critical NPC. Has a side quest that takes up a good chunk of the game and leads us to one of the endings. And again, if you're going for all achievements, all trophies, all that good stuff, his side quest is very necessary for that. So now we can go over here and pull the lever. It is not the wrong lever. Got an enemy down here. Take him out real quick. And we got our bonfire. So this is as far as we're going to get in this level. We're going to really start exploring it next time in the next episode. And this is a massive area. It's probably going to take 2 full episodes to get all the way through it. So we're going to go back to Firelink. And we have some NPCs that are now back at Firelink. We've got Greirat we got Greirat earlier in the episode, and we also have Yoel. So let's check out Greirat first.
Oh, hello, you're back. And in one piece. Well, now it's time I do my part. Whatever trinket you need, just don't ask me where I got them.
So he is a merchant. And he sells some stuff. You notice his fire bombs are cheaper than what you get from the other merchant. He also sells the buckler, sells some armor, some embers, and he also sells standard arrows, which actually do more damage than the arrows at the other. I think the other merchant sells light arrows. These ones do a bit more damage. So these are going to be my primary arrows that I use for most of the playthrough. I'm going to go ahead and pick up several of them. And these are going to be the main ones that I equip. And Greirat does have a side quest that goes beyond him just being here right now. And the side quest that he has will expand his inventory as we go.
And
We're going to talk to
do me
him.
a favor and don't forget, give this ring to a nuisance, I know. Goodbye.
All right, so we're going to do that in the next area that we get to, the Undead Settlement. His little quest that he has for us. And I'm going to equip the standard arrows. You see these do 15 extra physical damage. So not bad. Over here is where Yoel is. And I'm going to explain his quest a bit here after we talk to him.
Our champion of Ash, welcome home. This pilgrim, with a debt in death, hardly deserves to behold this divine flame. And I never would have. I thank you dearly for this.
Okay, we can
As
talk.
I have said, I was once a sorcerer. Alas, the magic of Londor is a far cry from the wonders of Vinheim. But I can teach you what I know. Perhaps, more importantly, I believe that I can help tease out your true strength. We pilgrims of Londor are keenly aware that those branded by the dark sign possess something quite special.
All right, so we get the beckon gesture from him. That is required, of course, for the gestures trophy. So make sure you talk to him to get that beckon gesture. And so here he mentioned we can draw out our true strength. This is a requirement for his quest line. So what this does...
Then shall we begin? Bearer of the dark sign.
Is it gives us a free level. And throughout his quest line, we can get up to 5 free levels by drawing out our true strength, as he calls it. I'm going to put this one into strength. We're going to be working up our strength all the way to 24 kind of gradually, because that's going to be the requirement for a weapon that we're going to be using eventually. And we'll confirm.
Be safe.
And so what this does, drawing out our true strength with Yoel, what this does is it gives us an item in our inventory known as a dark sigil. And you see this effect is it means we accumulate curse. So what this does is, I'll show you. We are going to have to intentionally take a death here to demonstrate this mechanic. And again, this is required for the quest. Let's exit Firelink Shrine. And you'll notice there's a fog gate here. It's because the outside area hasn't loaded in yet. Have to be a little bit patient. This does not indicate that there's a boss out there. We literally just have to wait for the area to load. It's taking a hot minute. Normally it doesn't take this long. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to run off the cliff. Take a death. Now that we've taken a death with a dark sigil in our possession, go to our character status. We have 1 hollowing, and you're only going to get this hollowing if you have the dark sigil from drawing out your true strength. So what happens now is we have the 1 hollowing from taking a death. We're going to get our souls back. And we're actually going to take another death. I know this sounds weird, but just bear with me here. Have a little seat while we wait for the level to spawn in. There we go. Okay. And so you notice, take another death. And check our status again. Now we're at level 2 hollowing. Get our souls back. So every time you take a death with those dark sigils in your inventory, you're gonna become hollow as you die. Now the hollowing is purely cosmetic. It does not impact any of your stats. what's going to happen is the more hollow you get, the more you're going to look like a gross old skeleton. And as I mentioned, it is part of this side quest. You just have to do it. And as you become more and more hollow, Yoel is going to give you more levels, up to 5 free levels.
Our champion of ash. I would do anything for my
Now we can draw out our true strength again now that we're at level 2 hollowing.
bearer of the dark.
And so this level I'll go ahead and put into vitality. I'm just going to be leveling up vigor, endurance, vitality, and strength as we go. And I will point out there is an NPC later on in an area a bit further from now, probably 4 or 5 episodes from now, where we're going to have 10 intelligence to interact with him in the way that we need to interact with him in the way that we need to. So I would recommend getting your intelligence up to 10 so you can do that as well. Let's see. Okay, we'll go with that.
Be safe.
And so now we've drawn out our true strength twice. Go back to our items. We have 2 dark sigils. So the level that your hollowing increases per death is equivalent to how many dark sigils you have in your possession. So now that we have 2 dark sigils in our possession, each death is going to give us 2 hollowing instead of just 1. And so I think the next time that he will give you an opportunity to draw out your true strength is at 6 hollowing. I think there's one at 12 and 15. I don't recall exactly what the increments are, but eventually I think 15 is the last one, and you can draw out your true strength up to 5 times. Once you've done it 5 times, the quest line progresses. Now, you have to do all of this before we fight one of the main story bosses that we're going to get to a bit later in the playthrough. I will call it out before we get there that you have to have completed those 5 free levels before then, just to make sure that you guys have it. But again, I know it all sounds weird, but all of this is essential to his quest line, and this quest line is essential to one of the endings. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. And even though we are at 2 hollowing, we still look mostly human, but as we get more and more hollow, we're going to look more and more we're gonna look pretty gross eventually. So just pointing that out. All right, let's see if we can get a level here.
Welcome home, speak. Very well, then taken.
We can, barely. So I'm going to put this level into... We'll do vigor.
Farewell, Ashen One, may the flame.
And that is going to do it for this episode. So we covered a Greirat side quest, we covered Yoel's side quest, we beat a boss, and next time we're going to be entering the undead settlement. And as I said, that is a very large area with a lot of things to do. So looking forward to that, and we'll have ourselves a good time there. So anyways, appreciate y'all for watching, and I look forward to going on this journey with you guys. Until next time, take care, everybody.